In this video, I'm going to share with you my 5 favorite fonts for designing t-shirts. Let's go! Thanks for joining me on this video. This is Juna with Detour Shirts, the channel all about helping you design and sell t-shirts online. In this video, I'm going to share with you my top 5 favorite fonts for right now in 2020 for designing t-shirts. I know fonts change all the time, so these are my top 5 for right now for November. So I'm going to share with you the fonts I use the most, and you can write them down and I'll show you where to find them, and I'll also show you how I use them on t-shirts so you can see how it looks like on t-shirts. And you're going to want to stay till the end because I'm going backwards with my top pick at the very last. For those of you that watch my videos, you probably know what it is already, so it might not be a big surprise. But you also will want to stay till the end because I have another edition of trend credits. So the best way to show you is to go on Affinity Designer. I'll show you my favorite fonts there, how I use it, what t-shirts I use it on, and then I'm going to show you the websites to buy them from. Yes, only one of these are actually free. The other 4 you'll have to buy on the internet, so I'll show you where to buy them. But they're really good fonts for t-shirt design, so you don't want to miss this. So here we are on Affinity Designer for my number 5 font. It is called Brawls Typeface Rough. So you can see what it looks like here. This is the font. If I double click on it, you'll see right here, Brawls Typeface Rough. This is the font that I use in my Instagram post at the very top here. So that's Brawls. I like this font because it has this rough look here without you having to do anything. It just comes in that way. And it's a nice thick font and it's a little wider. So whenever I need something with maybe, a word that's shorter, I use this font because it's a little wider. You can see here on this t-shirt, I used it here for mute because mute is a shorter word. So I use that here. And you can see here, I'm using it at the top here. I usually use this font right here for my other things. You'll see that later in my top 5 fonts. And that's the same font I'm using right here. So those of you that follow me probably know what that is already, but I'll share with you later. Brawls Typeface Rough. Let me show you where you find it on the internet and how you can get it. So this is where you find Brawls Typeface. I got it from the Creative Market here. I actually got it from a pack, so you might want to wait till that happens, but this is the people who make it, Habing Supply Company. Let me just look at Brawls for a moment. Here you can see it comes with some of these. It comes with clean and rough, and then it shows you what the upper and lower case looks like. So there's some custom things here where it goes under. So it gives you some of that variety. So it makes it look really cool, a lot different. It makes it stand out, makes your design stand out if you use those kind of letters here. Let me show you here. You get both the rough and the regular. And you can see here, it just looks really cool with that vintage style. So you can see here, pairs well with some other typefaces here. But here's some examples of it. And, it works well like that too. So really nice vintage font. I like it. And if you go to their Habing Supply Company and click on that, you'll see here there's a lot of cool fonts here too. Some other of my favorites, not in my top 5, but some that I use. You've probably seen me use this Glorious Sunday before. Northshire is a good one. Hazelnut, another good one that I use. So I've used a lot of these before, and the pack that I got, I think it was closer to Christmas last year, had a bunch of these in it. So you might want to wait for that, or if you can't wait, then go ahead and get Brawls. It's $18 here. You get both the clean and the rough. So for my number 4 font of my top 5 fonts is this Nexa Rust Slab. You've probably seen me use this before. You can see here, if I click on here, this is the font, Nexa Rust. Right here, Slab. This is another one of those wide fonts, but this one's a slab serif. You notice the other one before didn't have any serifs. Well, this one does have serifs, so that gives it a nice look. And it also has this drop shadow here, so that also gives it a unique look. So you can see how I'm using it here on this shirt. Let me zoom in so you can see it. That is Nexa Rust Nexa Rust, and these bigger ones. I'm pairing it with another font that I like here that I'm going to save later, but that's how it looks like on a shirt. It really goes well, especially if you kind of tilt it and stuff. Like I did that here, kind of give it even more, a more interesting look. And I'll show you where to buy this. This one is one of the ones that are free, and I'll show you how to get it. So here's where you can find Nexa Rust. It is by Font Fabric here. I'm on My Fonts, so just type in all fonts Nexa Rust and you'll find it. It is a super pack of 83 fonts, so you can see here just a whole big font family of fonts. Nexa Rust Slab is right here. You know, either get 1 or 2 or 3, one of those. And you can see here how it's being used. If you kind of scroll through here, just looking at some of these, it's really cool. I love this font and the font pack. And the thing I love about this font pack too is that it has graphics that you can use. Graphics that you can use on t-shirts, which is really cool. You can see the whole complete family is really pricey, so you may want to just go down and buy the ones that you like. And here are the Nexa Rust Extras, they call it. These are really great for when you need a graphic in a pinch and you want it to match the style that's with Nexa Rust, so it really works well. Some goodies here as well. And then these words are really cool too. So a lot of cool things on here. And I told you this is one of the ones that's free, and it is. If you go to Font Fabric, the people that make this, and go to their site, you can see here Font Fabric. They have their own Nexa Rust here, and you can see 5 free downloadable fonts. Out of the 83, 5 of them are free, and one of them is Nexa Rust Slab. So you'll get that. You'll just have to go here, download for free, sign up, put in your email, and then you'll get some of these. You won't get all of them, but you'll get some of these right here, and one of them is the Nexa Rust Slab. So this is where you get it. Font Fabric, Nexa Rust Slab, really cool font if you want it, if you don't have it already. One of my favorites, number 4 in my top 5. So my third favorite font is the Forgin rough one. You might notice a pattern here. This one also has that rough texture. I just love these because they have this distressed look, this vintage style. And so all of them kind of work together, and that's why they're in my top 5, because they can be combined and work together with each other. So here's the Forgin rough one on a t-shirt. Let me zoom in here. You can see I'm using it here with a vintage sunset, and it just works really well for longer phrases, longer words. And because it's skinnier, I can fit a lot more letters in, and it just fits. If I had to do this with the Nexa Rust, it would be too wide. So just think about that when you're designing and using these fonts. You'll want the skinnier condensed one for longer words, and the fatter ones, the wider ones for shorter words. Let me show you where you can buy this Forgin rough one on the internet. So this is where you find it on My Fonts. Just type in the Forgin right here. It's by Voltype Company. And you can see here, we'll just scroll through here so you can see there's clean vintage outline, stamp 1, stamp 2, and you can see how it looks. Just has that cool vintage look, right? And goes great with graphics as well. So you can see here, goes great with some serif fonts as well as sans serif. So that's the Forgin here, rough outline. I just have rough 1 here. I got that one. I didn't get the other ones, but you can see here. Let me just zoom in. So there's this vintage one. That's also very interesting. I didn't get that one yet, but I just have this rough one by itself. So you can see the whole family right here. They're all really cool. So that's where you get it on My Fonts. Just type in Forgin. So let's get on to the other one. So my second favorite font for my top 5 fonts is this Thirsty Rough. So I needed a script font in my top 5, and this is it. It also has that rough look, that distressed look, and it works really well with some of the other fonts. So you can pair this script font with some of the other fonts that are not script, and it would work really well. You can see right here. This is how I use it on a t-shirt, and so it pairs really well with other distress fonts here. So Thirsty Rough, so you can see here Thirsty Rough as one of my favorites. I'm going to show you where you can buy this one so you can add it to your collection. So this is where you buy Thirsty Rough. Again, on my fonts, just type in Thirsty Rough. Let's look through some of the samples here so you can see really cool stuff. Very vintage. Love the colors that they're using here in the examples, but you can see it does really well with some of these other fonts. And here's the whole family. You get light 1, 2, 3. You got a shadow one. So this family also has a rough and a clean version. So you can see here, this one doesn't. Let me just zoom in here so you can see it a little better. So you can see there's a rough version, and they vary in roughness. So you can see how some of it's really rough here, and then you have a shadow. And if we scroll down here, they get thicker as well. So there's some thicker ones. So let's keep looking here. And then they have these textures here, and these are free. So if you download these, you can make other things have the same texture in Affinity Designer. So you can use these textures, put it on something that doesn't have the texture, and then add the texture to it. So this is really cool to have, and it's free when you don't even have to buy the pack. You could download this right now if you wanted to. So all of these are rough. There is a clean version. I thought the clean version was in here, but of course this one's Thirsty Rough, my bad. There's a Thirsty, just Thirsty. It's not Thirsty Clean. If you just type in Thirsty, you can see, let me just type it in here. So I'll show you Thirsty Script. And it's also by Yellow Design Studio here. So Thirsty Script. And there was Thirsty Soft. I think that's the one I have. So Thirsty Soft. You can see here, this is like a black version. So this one's not part of my top 5, but of course it's just as good if you don't want the rough part of it. So, all right, now it's time for my #1 font that I use all the time. You should know what it is if you follow me a lot. I use it everywhere. I use it on Instagram, on YouTube, on a lot of my t-shirts. So here is my #1. So here it is, my #1 font pick for t-shirt design. I use it all the time. It is called Veneer. You can see here I use it in my Instagram posts. This is the font that I use on my YouTube videos right here, and I use it a lot on t-shirts. Let me zoom in here. So there it is. And that's the font I was using on all the other t-shirts too. That's Veneer. Let's go back. That's not Veneer. This is Veneer here. You can see right there those little words. And so is this UR. So I use it all the time. And people ask me, what is that font? What is that font? Here it is, Veneer. I'll show you where to buy it. And no surprise, it's on My Fonts again. So here is where you buy Veneer. On My Fonts, just type in Veneer and you'll find it. It's another font that is designed by Yellow Design Studio. They have so many cool fonts. I would suggest you go there. In fact, we'll go there after this. But let me show you what Veneer has and why I love it so much. So you can see here, it has all of these things, all these different lowercase, capital. You can see the different roughness of it. And you can see here, I like that it's condensed but also thick. So the Forgin is just a little too thin. I mean, it works really well, but if you want something a little thicker but still condensed, that's where Veneer comes in really handy. Like it says here, it says looks good big or small. So really good here. And it has a regular and italic, and it has multilingual, and it has all these extras. So this is really cool too. If we scroll down, so you can see here some of the extras. Let me zoom in. So look at that. Free graphics as well. You don't pay anything when you buy the font family. So you can use these. You may have seen some of these in my t-shirts as well. So free graphics along with the coolest font. So let me show you Yellow Design Studio and some of the other fonts they have here. So this is why Veneer works really well with Thirsty. They're made by the same design studio. Also, Santa Elia, use it all the time. Great script font as well. Just not better than Thirsty in my opinion, but it's still a good one. Here's a Sucrose, which is a nice font too. Just a little thicker than I need. Not as condensed, but really good one. Eveleth, like this one has all the This one has a different kind of roughness, but it has all these shapes too, so it's really cool. So it just goes on and on. I mean, you could take a long time. Draft Natural is a great one too. So, oh, this Gist Rough, like there's so many cool fonts that these guys do. So I spent a lot of money on some of these yellow design fonts. They do really well for t-shirts. Love the roughness. They have great vintage fonts, which makes your t-shirts just pop. So those are my top 5 fonts that I use today in 2020. Hopefully they were really helpful for you. I know a lot of people ask me what font is this and what font is that. So these are my top 5 fonts. Let me know in the comments if you like them. Let me know your favorite font in the comments as well if you have one that's not on this list. And thanks so much for staying all the way to the end. Your reward is another edition of Trend Credits. Thanks so much for staying to the end for this Trend Credits. Here's your trend. I never dreamed I'd end up t-shirt. There's many ways you can do this one. So you'll see a bunch of them that say, I never dreamed I'd end up being a son-in-law. But if you scroll down here, a lot of them are son-in-law, but you don't have to be son-in-law. This one says, end up marrying my perfect wife, marrying my perfect wife, marrying my wife again. So that's popular as well. Never dreamed I'd grow up to be a pontoon captain, wife. Let's see, let's scroll down some more. Wife again here. I think you could do husband. Here's a teacher. Son-in-law again. So that's really popular. Let's see. So there's lots of ways you can do this, is what I'm saying. So this will make a great Christmas present. I think a lot of moms are buying these for their son-in-laws or something like that. So it makes a good gag gift, I guess. But you can see the BSRs here are super, super low. You can see here. So just think of your own. You could do son-in-law or you could do something else. I think it would do really well. Something else, daughter-in-law, son-in-law, aunt, mother, wife, husband. So the list goes on. You can scale this, right? Let's go here to Merchant Former. I never dreamed I'd end up. It's getting an A here. So you can see here, these are getting like, look at those sales, just crazy amount of sales. So you know it's good. If you don't have Merchant Former, I have a link in the description for Merchant Former. Can save you some money there, but Merchant Former is awesome, and you can check this competition checker right here. So that is your trend for today. Thanks so much for staying till the end. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if it gave you some value. And if you're not subscribed to this channel already, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you're subscribed so that you can see all my videos. I'm giving lots and lots of value. At least I think I'm giving lots and lots of value for you, so that you can make some money this Q4 by designing and selling t-shirts. So that is it for this video. And as always, guys, keep creating and keep learning. I'll see you on the next one.